All right. Okay. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Tucson Chicken and Cat Yoga. I don't know who you can see in this frame. We're meditating here, you guys. This is Banu. That is Rita. That is Coco. That is Becky. Come here, Becky. And that is Fauna in the foreground. Fauna is broody lately, so if she seems moody, don't worry about it. And Coco is molting. She's losing her feathers. Rita's starting to lose her feathers, so if they look terrible, don't call the ASPCA. That's normal. It's normal. They're super healthy, totally organic. Let's grasp our feet. Inhale, sit up, and fold over. What you guys don't know is this is take 2. So Baby Monster already caused a problem. She had a problem with one of the chickens and took off and unplugged the microphone, and we had to start over again. So thanks for that, baby. She's right over there. You can't see her. Let's come back up. Go into our camel ride. So exhale back, inhale forward. So thank you so much for tolerating last week's set, which had bunches of technical difficulties due to the fact that I was on vacation. But I wanted you to really experience Wisconsin with me, and I also wanted you to see the trees and the water and the marsh and all that stuff, even if the sound quality was poor or the video was poor. But I also wanted you to see how, even on vacation, you can sneak away and do a little bit of yoga, right? So it's great to be able to, if you have the time and you have you've made a little yoga corner in your house or a little yoga studio, that's great. But if you don't have any of those things, you can still do your yoga. And most of you didn't watch the Taichi vacation video, but I did some Taichi or Qigong in the airport, right? And you can do yoga in the airport too, but I didn't want to show you that because I preferred to show you the beautiful forest. But anyway, so it was also a short set, and so that's a good one for you if COVID has ruined your schedule and you don't have a full hour anymore. Okay, but this will be at least an hour. So we'll have, and this will be a similar set as the Wisconsin duck yoga, except for it'll include a lot more poses. And it's just a good, solid, generic Hatha, good solid set of poses, right? The short set and the long set. So maybe bookmark duck yoga. Maybe if you like this set, bookmark this set too. So we're going in circles if you didn't notice. So this again, or I don't even know if I mentioned last week, but that was the set with all the trees and the wood and plants, anything made of wood. But there's a whole bunch of poses I left out last week, so we'll get to all of them today, every last one of them. And also, maybe today, Banu already ate like a ton of grass, so maybe we'll get to see Banu barf in slow motion. If he does, I'll slow it down, right? And if we have any catastrophes, I'll slow them down too, because I learned how to use slow motion in my editing software. So for instance, with these trees, so this Kundalini movement is normally thought of as serpentine, but today we would think of it as being like a young sapling tree, or perhaps a coiling vine. So use your imagination and hold these images in your mind. Remember, there's one theory of meditation says that you can force extraneous thoughts out of your mind by replacing them with something preferable. So it's preferable to think about beautiful trees in the forest rather than thinking about Trader Joe's. It'd be better to clear your mind completely, but if you can't do that, you think about relaxing on the beach. And that's what Geronda referred to as a gross meditation. All right. Yeah, that's a good girl. Hey, be nice. So what we don't know, well, we're looking for video documentation of whether these chickens are actually picking on baby or whether it's all in her imagination. She just may be paranoid, right? Because Benu clearly doesn't care. But Benu is sort of like the rooster of this whole operation here. Or what was it? Okay, so we'll examine the video to see if she actually did do anything there or not, right? I mean, they don't eat the same food. There's no reason for them to be in competition. Okay, go deep, go really deep. Don't let me distract you. Deep into the pelvic bowl. As far down into the floor, any muscles you can find there, lightly engage them. Very important. Good to remember, we want to hopefully make it all the way through our life mobile and without incontinence and lucid and whatever else is on your list. So the exercising the muscles of the pelvic floor will make sure to help us with incontinence later in life. All right, I said it. Okay, let's see. There's that. I'm going to refold my legs the other way. Excuse me, baby. Okay, we're going to fold over again. You can just walk your hands out. So remember that even though wood, the tree is already dead, wood retains life in it, and it retains beauty. It responds to polishing. It responds to the oils in our skin or artificial oils that we use to replace the moisture that it once had. What are you looking at? So surround yourself with more wood, replacing plastic whenever possible. And come back up. We'll go into our twist. Ouch. Okay, deep breath, exhale, twist to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. Careful, fauna. Arms like tree branches. So these videos are not meant to be any sort of a diary about COVID or anything else, but can't help but comment on certain things. It happens to be late August, and we just ended our streak of days over 105 here in Tucson. I think we were up in the mid 40s, like 45 days over 105 or 105 or above. We just broke it. We had a little tiny bit of rain. I mean, we're in a full-out drought. We had a little bit of rain, so you can see some greenery in the grass, and the chickens really appreciate that. But I've been watering here too. So they're not allowed here normally. This is just for yoga. If they were allowed here, it would be dust. They would ruin this area. They're very destructive. All right, how about let's hold our twist. Back to center. Last time. So the sound went away while a bunch of ambulances went by. So shake your legs out. So our next piece of wood is the stick, dandasana. Danda meaning stick, palo in Spanish. And at its core, it's like a nothing pose. It looks like we're doing nothing, but there's a lot going on here. It's about posture, but then not neglecting your legs. Why don't we do it with our feet flexed and the legs lightly pressed together, sit tall. We can cheat here at first. So press your palms into the ground to actually feel what super perfect posture would feel like, and then we'll emulate this without using our arms, right? So keep that nice lift, pulling up through the crown point of the head, so lifting up through the head rather than using extraneous tension here, right? And then, so this would be a good alternative if you have a hard time, if you had an injury and you had a hard time crossing your legs, or you could do that entire twist from here, right? So just try one to each side. And then as long as we're here, we'll do our pendant. So go to a pointed foot, press the legs together. We did this in the Wisconsin set, and I wasn't sure if you could tell what I was doing because you can't see me come up. You may not even believe that I'm coming up, but I'm coming up about that high, and I'm pressing down, but I'm pulling up, right? I can't stress that enough. I mean, I stress it all the time, but that's the purpose of the pose, right? If we weren't pulling up, we would just do a bunch of push-ups, right? All right. So I almost sat back down on poor baby's tail here. I'm going to move out of the way so you can see this beautiful cat. Sorry about that, you guys. So that's our stick, and then straddle is just legs as wide as they'll go. Walk your hands out or out your legs. I'm going to keep my hands out of this anthill here. I'm going to keep my hands on my legs. Uh-oh. Banu's eating more grass, man. That's all coming back up. Probably live on video shortly here. He's eating a ton of grass. That can't be good. All right. So I know that the comments are disabled on these videos, but it is possible to communicate with me. And a lot of you have sent me photos of your kitty cats doing yoga with you. So this is kind of fun to know that there's me, there's them, there's you, and all of our animals together. So you may or may not be able to see, you can't see my hands. We're just going to do our thunderbolts, right? So here is fine. So if you can't see my hands, why do I even bother to go up to here? What? Okay, curl the toes under. Too much grass, Banu. And then this ground is actually pretty rocky, so I don't know if I can curl my toes under the other way because they're more sensitive that way. Okay, I can get it a little ways. Okay, good enough. Come into our squat, any kind of squat you care to do. Now, baby, you're not leaving. I don't like when she tries to get under this chain link fence because even though she has a breakaway collar, she could get stuck. Come back. Come here. Now what would be neat is if you guys could see her jump up on that wall. We'll do that in slow motion because she's so graceful. She's not going to do that for us. All right, there's our squat. Come up to a hanging forward bend. All right, let's walk our feet out into straddle. And walk our hands over towards one foot. Keep the legs straight and the feet parallel, please. Head over towards the knee. Come around into your lunge. Add a twist if you want. One more breath here. And back down. Back to straddle. Nice breath here. And then on the exhale, walk your hands over towards your other foot. Head towards the other knee. Move around into lunge, please. You could add that twist if you wanted to. Put weight in this hand. Otherwise it won't work. It'll be too hard. One more breath here. And back down. Move back to straddle. Hang out here. Maybe drop down to the mat. So when we're at the park or out doing chicken yoga, I don't like to put my head down in the dirt, but here this is great. So put my head down all I want. Back to straddle, back to center. That headstand was totally spontaneous and optional, and it wasn't even very good. So don't bring your feet together. Keep your feet apart,
And we'll do our wood chopper, you guys. Our next wood pose. Hands together in your axe. Start out gently swinging your axe. Maybe you got to keep your knees bent. Highly suggesting or highly recommended you keep your knees bent, at least at first. Get a relaxed swing. Think about Ken is coming up. Doable. Careful the first time. Careful of your back. Your back is your friend, not your enemy. All right. So it may take a few swings for it to feel natural. Exhale down, inhale up. If you feel dizzy, just come to standing. Stand in a mountain pose. So what if I told you that I just paused the video while I did 100 of these and while you just did like 5, so 98, 99, 100. Yeah, you couldn't even see where I edited the video, but I did, honestly. All right, so now we couldn't possibly do a balance after going up and down like that. All right, although later, at some advanced level, when your balance is so good, maybe you will start to try to make your balances more difficult by doing them after your inversions, but not now. So, first thing, another tree. This is from Taichi. Okay, embrace the tree. So, is there tension here? No, Taichi is always, my arms are super loose, but there's presence, peng. It's one of the 4 fundamental energies of Taichi is this aliveness in my arms, a springiness, and my elbows are sunk, my knees are soft, I'm sinking down, I can feel my feet like roots, as if they go deep into the ground. I'm not leaning forward, not leaning back. Am I motionless? You would think I am, but no, I'm not. Go into feel your body moving just like a tree. The movements of the upper branches of even a huge tree are creating micro movements in the trunk. So don't even try to be unmoving here. Just let the wind move you. A great standing meditation. In Tai Chi and many other traditions, they don't lay down to meditate. Tai Chi is much too formal for that. All the meditations are standing. It's a good thing to learn some standing meditations so if you can't do your Savasana, and don't worry, you won't fall over, you're not going to fall asleep. Okay, how about one more breath? Tai Chi also uses belly breaths just like yoga, so one more good belly breath and then. So now we should feel very grounded. We can do the Emperor's Chair. Chairs are made of wood, so we'll do the Emperor's Chair. This is also a very grounding balance. Okay, so just cross one leg over the other. It has to be above the knee, but it's not. We're not putting our foot on our inner thigh, so don't worry about that. And then hands to the heart, and just then sit down as much as you can. Okay. So that's about good enough. How about a deep breath here and exhale. Press up and release. And then we'll start the other side. So don't do the other side until you feel steady. If you start it unsteady, it's going to stay unsteady. But if you start steady, you'll have much better luck. All right, great. Sink down. The more you sink down, the easier it becomes, the better it is for your legs. Nothing to it. Nice deep breath. And then exhale and release. Great. That's the Emperor's Chair. Let's move on to our classic Hatha tree variations. First, the classic. Foot in the inner thigh or anywhere above the knee. You notice how right above the knee, the foot can kind of rest on the side of the knee itself, if that helps you. Or you can get it up as high as you can. And if you're wearing slippery spandex, I don't know what to tell you. It's much, much, much harder. Whoa. I'm going to start over. Okay. I'll catch up to you guys. Hands to your heart, please. Okay, so anyway, if you're wearing spandex, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Then we go here. So if you'll notice, when we were standing on the ground in Wisconsin, I was much more steady. These mats in the dojo, this is not an excuse, these mats, squishy mats in the dojo are actually harder to balance on. Okay, elbows back, knee back, chest open, shoulders open. Okay, and then arms up like branches. That feels really good too. Our final branch, if you choose to attempt it. Breathe. All right, well, not so bad. How did you do? I know you did good. Okay, before we start the other side, sink, relax. Maybe have a sip of water. We'll wait. No, we won't. But if you have a little sip of water right now, you won't have to spend as much time balancing. All right, so that's a good excuse. So here we go. Let's see. So is this a variation? It is if you say it is. Of course it is. Right? If you have slippery spandex and yoga socks that don't stick onto anything, of course you could do it like this. You can do whatever you want. All right. Everybody back from their water. So remember, I've been encouraging you guys not to go to heroic measures to save your balance. In fact, if you feel tippy, like you're going to lose it, I would rather that you lose it and then start over than to do your heroics, right? So maybe I can demonstrate. If I lose my balance, I'll demonstrate. I will not reach all over trying to hold my balance. If I can't do it gracefully, all right. So not so bad, not too bad. But if I went like this, I would just leave it go. And okay, good. So that wasn't too bad. Let's do our 5-pointed star. Okay, this should feel so good after a balance. So grounding. Turn both feet right, or whatever right is for you. And first, warrior 2, turn the hand up in a peaceful offering gesture, peaceful warrior, and then how about humble warrior? Drop the hands behind your back. Take your time here. Join your hands, open the shoulders, Because if you don't want to do a deep bow, then just enjoy this part of the pose, okay? So even look up first and then slowly begin to bow obliquely. And take your time here. Let gravity help you. And then draw the arms up when you're ready. Breathing. So already start to think about how you're going to get back up. It's perfectly okay to release your arms and climb back up. But I think I'm just going to inhale and float my way back up whenever you're ready. All right. So I'm going to release my arms now. And just like wood, which is buoyant, my arms feel buoyant now. Effortlessly floating back up to horizontal. Turn both feet in the other direction. Look in that direction. Bend the forward knee just a little bit. As long as we're here talking, remember, and I tell you this all the time, but to document it in video may be more helpful. If you get this urge to go over to here, don't do that. Or if you get an urge to go to here, to bend forward and lunge forward. We already did lunge, so I hope you got that out of your system. But I would rather see you go into a longer stance. And now you get that feeling of, but your posture is good. Your knee, you can still see your feet over your toes over your knee. You're not leaning forward anymore because it would be really hard to do that. You wouldn't want to, right? So I'd rather see a longer stance than this forward leaning, right? So, peaceful gesture. Join your hands behind your back. So now I'm so deep, my head may hit the ground. So we'll see what happens. So first look up, arch your back, open your shoulders. Maybe you don't want to bow forward. I don't care. It's up to you. Over I go. Hey, Benu came back. That's pretty cool. Hang on, you guys. Okay, I'm going to come up early. You guys come up when you want. Benu's over at the door of the dojo. How great is that? Well, I'll go get him. Don't worry about it. We don't have to stop. Let's come up to here. Hang on, Benu. And walk your feet in or hop in. Let's see what else we have to do. Why don't we come down into a hanging forward bend. And then we'll continue our ground poses. So you hang here, and I'll be right back with you. Come into downward facing dog. I can't leap back because I don't want to startle Benu. Okay, one more good stretch here. Well, wait a second. Why don't we lift a leg just like a form of a tree, like a pine tree?
reaching upward. One more breath here. Lower that leg. So, my leg lift doesn't look like much, but I'm trying to keep my leg straight. I know the knee appears to be bent, but I'm not intentionally bending it. I'm trying to straighten it. And if you notice, the more I drop my chest, the higher the leg goes. That's not cheating, that's legit. Ugh, all right. I wish I could do better on that one for you, but that's the way it goes. One more breath here, and then drop down to hands and knees. So this is another wooden item. In old Hatha yoga, they would call this a table. We can do, hey, come here, baby. Oh, boy. Look at her sneaking around. Let's do cat and cow. So it looks like all we have here is Banu, and now he's relocating. Come here, Banu. Boy, if we lose Banu, I swear, I may have to just pause the video and go round up some more animals. Come here, Banu. There we go. Yeah, stick with me. Atta boy. All right, and then sit back in child pose. There you go. Atta boy. Gotta have a cat for cat yoga. So another item made of wood is a bow. So let me inspect my surroundings and then we'll do our bow pose. Lay face down. Wait a second. Uh-oh, cat alert. We have to imitate Banu. So I think he's kind of like this. Something like this. Is that about right? Or lower, he's lower. Okay, good. Back to our bow pose. Let me know if he does any other poses here. So he's right on top of a big ant hill, but he's completely unconcerned. The ants can't get through his fur, but they can get to me, so I'm gonna move through this bow pose maybe a little bit quicker than normal. So remember, you can always do half bow instead. If you can't reach your both feet, you can always reach one, even if you have to roll on your side and find that leg and then come back. So, and then always take a couple of breaths here just to get used to this. Don't bow up yet unless you're professional. So I'm not bowing yet. And I know you can't see me really bow here, but I promise I am. So here we go. So don't hold your breath. And then bow up. The knees come up, the chest comes up, shoulders pull back. I'm not pulling on my legs. I'm expanding out in all directions. If this is uncomfortable, try to stick with it, keep the abs engaged. It'll eventually become one of your favorite poses. And someday you'll thank me. Okay, one more breath and release. Back to child pose to soothe your back. So, other poses made of wood that you may not like are our planks. And then our four-limbed staff, which is also made of wood, and you'll hate that even more than your normal plank. Come here, baby. What are you doing? Hang on. Pause the video. Come here. Come here. Take two. Okay, we're back. What were we doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna do our planks. We'll get baby back here for you. You have to have two cats, right? So we'll do all of our planks and we'll see if we can just transition into them. Hopefully you can stay on your mat. Okay, so this is my downward plank. And then the four-limbed staff is just stay in your plank, lower yourself down as far as you can, keeping off the ground, and just breathe. Okay, that's sufficient. Let's see if we can do this without taking a break. So I've decided that for my side plank, I would rather work on a good plank than stacking my feet and having to worry about my balance too, right? So I'm going with both feet on the ground, and we'll balance when we're doing a balance, right? So I also, instead of looking up, I also kind of like looking straight out, keeping the spine in a perfect line, okay? So that's my focus of my pose. Or here, I like this too. Okay, other side. I'll see you back in a moment. Two hawks in the air. That's why the chickens are gone. Now I know. Oh, this is great. Two hawks, not just one. Oh, that's great. Oh, it's a male and a female. Okay, can we continue right through to our upward plank? Maybe not. Sit down. That might be too much, yeah. You can't see it. Two hawks circling right overhead. Banu doesn't care. Okay, so let's come up into our upward plank right now. And yes, we could have come here straight from our side plank because you can. So you could go from here to here. It's not that bad. If I do it on one side, gotta do it on the other. So it's not great though. It's not excellent. Okay, good enough. That's great. So more poses made of wood. We're gonna come up into a three-legged table. Pause for just a minute. I'm gonna get myself over into the sun. No, we'll start this and then we'll pause it while you're doing your pose. So let's do a half of a forward fold. Okay. So my foot anywhere above the knee. Doesn't have to be right in here, but it can't be in that part of your knee. Okay, so, and then we'll just walk ourselves out. Okay, you stay here. I'll be right back.
All right, come up to here. Remember our three-legged table? I'm going to bring my arms behind me. Keep your leg here. Bring this leg up. And then, without brute force, just float yourself up into your three-legged table. And sit down. Okay, optional, the Bikram sitting tree. I'm going to work my way forward, up. Hope I don't fall on either Banu or my microphone. So this is meant to be, Banu's nervous. He knows I can't do this. So this is supposed to be a balance, you guys. Let's try half a Mississippi. Oh, maybe I'll have this in slow motion. No way. Okay. That's not easy. Okay, let's start all over on the other side. Don't be alarmed, I'm not going to fall on you. He doesn't trust me at all. All right, good. We have another cat now. Finally. Oh, she's back. Good for you. I needed some help over here. Okay. Half of a forward fold. You can help me with that. Oh, look, they love each other. Look at that. Ugh. Baby cannot catch a break. You poor thing. All right, good. Poor thing. Oh, baby misses Barb. Barb was her only friend. It's so funny. All right, let's do this. Come up to here. Float up gently. One more breath. Come on back down. Okay, so for our sitting tree, we'll give this another try. We'll go for our one Mississippi, half Mississippi maybe. Whoa, not bad. That was a half a Mississippi. All right. That was a little dog alert. Literally a little dog. No big deal. So, what do we have left? A couple of more wood poses that we didn't get to, or we may or may not have got to. Boats are still made of wood. We won't do our full bunch of boat poses. We'll just do the classic. Good for your core.
here and here. Keep this high. There are harder ways of doing this, but the classic, I think, is still the best, and you can hold it the longest. One more breath, and then release. And then, luckily, there are also still bridges made of wood, but you have to go, I think, to Maine to find them. So we'll do our bridge. But I don't have any cats. Come here, baby, come here. Come here. And so lay back. And remember our bridge, we're taking our time on this. We're going to start counterintuitively. To bring the hips up, first you must go down. So the abs draw down, imprinting your lower spine on the mat. And you feel your hips tip upward. Start there, and the tailbone starts to peel away, and then the spine starts to peel away from the mat, one vertebra at a time. So we'll do this twice, just so that if you missed that, you can get it. So we come up into our bridge, and then in yoga, we usually join the hands behind the back, or just tuck your shoulders. That's the only real reason, is to get the shoulders tucked underneath you, and then we can do a leg raise, just like a tree reaching for the sky. And take one more breath. Lower that leg. So remember, the spine is going to come down just as slowly as we went up, one vertebra at a time. This is your spinal inventory. That's why it matters. You're inventorying your spine. In its most basic form, Hatha yoga is just an inventory of your body. I hope that there's no area of the body that we've neglected. If there is, just let me know. Within reason. And there's a yoga pose for just about every part of the body. So it's like a little inventory. So let's come up again, just as precisely, if not more. Draw down, start to roll that pelvis upward, tilt the pelvis up, and then one vertebra at a time. If a few came up all together, just drop down and then articulate them. It's that important. All right, when you get up as high as you're going to go, join the hands or just tuck the shoulders, and then the other tree branch reaches for the sky. And breathe. One more breath here. Lower the leg. Remember, we're coming down just as precisely as we went up, because it feels good, not because I'm telling you to do it. The reason we do any of these things, Taichi, yoga, any form of exercise, is not because our doctor told us it's good for us. It's because it feels good. Remember that. Hug your knees to your chest. And let's do our trees, you guys. I like to do standing poses down on the mat. It gives us a whole nother perspective. And it helps also, especially in this case, it helps with our alignment. So when you're down here, you still have to imagine that you're standing. So your feet are still on the ground. So flex your feet slightly, right? And then what was the first thing we did? We brought the foot to the inner thigh, and we brought our hands then
to our heart. And already you feel gravity helping you draw the knee down. That gives you the good alignment for the pelvis region. And then this is not very comfortable, so let's go right to the hands on the crown point of the head. Now you can feel gravity helping you drop your elbows down, open the shoulders out, open the chest. So this we couldn't really accomplish this standing. There's no way we could get this level of alignment standing and also be balancing. It's just not possible. So we've got gravity, then we can also assist gravity by just gently forcing the arms down and just dropping that knee. And then our final tree movement, remember, or the next to final is to draw the arms upward, and then the final thing is this, to grasp this, one of our branches. And then again, see how far off of the frontal plane that we are, and see if that leg can drop down. I'm trying not to roll. I don't want to roll just to bring that leg down. Luckily, this other hand is keeping me honest. It's acting as a counterbalance, and it will let me know if I cheat and I start to roll. Your hips might not be perfectly level. And the longer we stay here, the better it will be. And maybe I'll put in the video notes that a strap would be useful. Strap would be very useful right now. So I'll put in the notes to use a strap. Hang on. Let's do Take two. So we'll do our tree poses from down here. And why don't you grab your strap if you have it nearby, keep it handy, or just pause the video and go grab your strap, or you can catch up with us. So the first tree pose is with the foot in the inner thigh. And now you feel already gravity is assisting drawing this knee. All right. Let's see, where the hell were we? We did our bridge. So let's do our tree poses from down here, because I like to do our standing poses sometimes on the mat. It gives us a different perspective. It really lets us know, okay, when we're laying down, the ground becomes what's known as the frontal plane. This is the frontal plane, this two-dimensional slice through us, and the ground really helps us. When we're standing, we can only imagine the frontal plane. This is the frontal plane when we're standing. If I was facing you, all right, doesn't matter, you get it. Go grab your strap now if you want to use the strap, and you can pause or you can catch up. We are going to do the very, very first version of our tree with the foot in the inner thigh. If you're running for your strap right now, don't worry about it, because we already did this, but you'll see, you'll catch up. And so now you can feel how gravity is assisting us to melt into this frontal plane. It's drawing the knee down. Remember, we had our hands to our heart. But this is no good because this is bringing us down here. This is not the way we would be when we're standing, actually. So let's go straight to the hands on the crown together, palms together on the crown point of the head. And now, see, gravity is helping us to bring the elbows down. But see, if you're like me, when my elbows went down, my spine arched up. So let's see if we can remedy that. Drop the elbows and drop the lower spine and flex the foot. Okay, open the chest, open the shoulders. Okay, the people who ran for their straps are coming back. We'll take a few breaths here. This is really good, you guys. Anytime gravity helps us, these are the poses that we could hold for a long time. Because the longer you hold this type of a pose, you're not getting more tired. You just continue to increase your range of motion as you relax into it, right? There's other poses that the longer you hold them, the harder they get. A pose like this, the longer you hold it, the easier it gets, the better it gets. But anyway, all the strap people are already back, and they've had this for a couple of breaths. So we'll do the final version. We go with the arms up, and then we're going to grasp our tree branch, loop the strap over your foot, and you're holding your strap here. And then see, gravity is assisting this leg coming down, but don't turn over. Okay, so this hand here keeps me honest, right? This hand and this arm, they act as a counterbalance, and they let me know if I'm starting to roll. Okay, and your hips are not going to be perfectly level. At least not my hips aren't perfectly level, but at least I know that they should be, so I know what my goal is. Feel that hip opening up. Nice stretch in the hamstrings, hip adductors, everything. Too many muscles to mention. The longer we stay here, the better it gets. Unless you're feeling discomfort. Okay. In your home practice, if you like this, do this for just as long as you want. But we need to move on. So let's come back in. Okay. And we'll do the other side. So remember, put your strap over on the other side. Bring your foot up into the inner thigh. Take a moment to let that knee sink down. Okay, take the curvature out of your lower spine just for a moment, just to recreate this so your mind remembers this. And then we'll go straight up to here so that we can open the shoulders and chest again. All right, this is great. This is really good. Flex the foot to imitate that you're actually standing. And then again, as you draw the elbows down and your back arches up off the mat, see if you can just counteract that a little bit by drawing the abs down, lengthening the spine. Lengthening the spine always takes the curvature out of it. It's a healthier way of taking the curvature out of the spine with less tension. Okay, arms up like tree branches, and then our final branch, get your strap, loop it over your foot, take a moment here if you need to get everything the way you want it, and then out we go. So now you can see my hip. If my hip comes up, you can see it. So I gotta be extra honest. Hey, where did Banu go? I didn't even see him disappear. Come here, Banu. Banu, come back. Come here, Banu. Don't make me pause this video. Here he comes. Good boy. Thanks, Banu. Can you see him, or is he out of the frame? That's a good cat, man. All right. So yeah, my hip is lifting up a little bit. No one's perfect. One more breath. Let's reel it all back in. We'd better wind it up before Banu decides to leave, right? We need him to help us meditate. So hug your knees to your chest. Do our final twist. See, now the hips can come up, right? Twist to the other side. Uh-oh, come back, Banu. This time he's not coming back. We lost him for good. When you're doing your final meditation, maybe think of something wood. Like boats are relaxing. You could either be on a boat or you could be the boat. You could be a raft. You could be a log, driftwood floating down a river. Or you could be on a raft, or you could be a tree, or you could be amongst trees. If you want to stay yourself and not lose your identity, you could be in the trees, or you could be the trees themselves. In the forest. Remember, trees are not solitary creatures. They're in a group, they're in a network. Technically, the network is connected by fungus. Really interesting symbiosis or synergy going on there. All right. Hug your knees to your chest. Come here, Banu. Help us meditate. Come here, Banu. Okay, ready for your meditation? So, whenever you're ready, exhale, collapse into your corpse pose. This is very raft-like if you choose to meditate this way. But remember, long, even, natural breath is number one. Number two is every day, try to breathe a little bit more through your nose. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about when or how. Do I inhale through my nose or I exhale? Doesn't matter, just more through your nose, less through your mouth every day, a little bit more every day. And then after that, maybe you learn some breathing techniques, right? But that's after you've come to breathe more naturally, come to hold less tension in your chest, come to breathe more through your nose. So we have a lot of work just to get our breath back up to normal. And then once it's normal, then we can, or natural, we can work on our yogic breathing techniques or other breathing techniques from other traditions, right? So stick with the simplest and the easiest thing first, and then we'll get fancy later. That's why I don't really do breathing techniques, because it could take us years just to get to a natural human breath, or back to breathing the way we should be breathing as a natural human being. So enough. Go into your meditation, and we will see you next week. Love you guys. Miss you all, and thank you for your support and your interest and generosity, and we will see you next week. Enjoy your nice long meditation.